Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Matthews. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm the director for Washington State's Office of Equity. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Equity in Session. This week, I wanted to share a new experience with you, and that is my experience with testifying. Last week, I testified on two different pieces of legislation. One for digital equity, which was 2313, Bill number 2313. And the other one is the Economic Security for All, or EXA, and that was 2230. It was terrifying. I've never done it before. I've watched some hearings state and nationally, and you know what you're going to say, but you don't know what questions you're going to get. You don't necessarily know what concerns our legislators may have. And you want to make sure that you present the information in a way that conveys the importance of this legislation. It's also a short session, which means there's not a lot of time to get bills heard. And there are a lot of bills that have been entered. And so you really want to make sure that you convey the significance of the legislation you're testifying on. You make sure that you express it in a way that people can understand, and that you have enough information that you can respond to whatever questions or concerns the legislators may have. Also, it's televised, so you want to be careful about what you say, because you want to make sure that you don't cause harm to anyone. You also want to make sure that you are being a good representative of the state and of state resources. The experience was fun, though, I would say. There's a process, and thankfully, we got to listen to other folks testify first. And I heard a lot of comments from the public on the legislation that I testified on. And so I was able to develop right then and there my thoughts, or more of my thoughts, about what I wanted to say and what was really important to people to hear. And so I had a really good experience. And so if you want to testify, you need to sign up in the legislature's website. And then you just put in there that you're planning on testifying. And you can also just sign in whether you support or not support a legislation. So you don't have to sign in to testify. And you go from there. And I just wanted to share the website. So it's leg.wa.gov, G-O-V. So that's the legislature's website for Washington State. And you can go in there and track legislation. You can also go and sign up to testify. You can also sign up to just sign in for support, or read where the progress of legislation you care about is. Well, this will be my last recording. I am handing it over to our talented and skilled Omar Santana Gomez. He will take my place in providing updates for the Equity in Session. And you've heard from Patrick already, and you will continue to hear from him. So until next time, be well, and I hope this information was helpful to you. Take care.
Hi, everybody. It's Patrick Stickney again. Today, we're going to highlight some bills that have passed the policy cutoff. From our previous videos, House Bill 2209, celebrating Lunar New Year, House Bill 1541, the Nothing About Us Without Us Act, House Bill 2230, the Economic Security for All Grant Program, Senate Bill 5955, improving equity in large port districts, and House Bill 2313 regarding digital equity have all survived for now. House Bill 2230, Senate Bill 5955, and House Bill 2313 all have the extra step of needing to pass out of the relevant fiscal committee, and will have to make it through this process by the end of Monday, February 5th. Some other bills that survived policy cutoff are priorities of our partners, and today we would like to briefly highlight a few priority bills of the LGBTQ Commission. These bills include Substitute Senate Bill 5237, which was prime sponsored by Senator Claire Wilson, This bill requires the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction to establish procedures to investigate and address complaints of school district leadership that are not following state law, for example, by engaging in discrimination or refusing to teach certain topics, like comprehensive age-appropriate sexual health education and tribal history and culture. This bill is currently in the Senate Ways and Means Committee. Next, we have Senate Bill 6127, which is prime-sponsored by Senator Leas. This bill requires hospitals to adopt a policy for dispensing post-exposure prevention HIV medication and prohibiting most health insurance plans, as well as Medicaid and public employee health plans, from imposing cost-sharing or prior authorization requirements for at least one version of each medication required for a post-exposure prevention regimen. This bill is currently in the Senate Rules Committee. And we have House Bill 1954, which was prime-sponsored by Representative Riccelli. This bill prohibits healthcare providers who provide reproductive or gender-affirming healthcare from being disciplined if they have acted consistent with accepted medical standards, and they're not able to then be subject to discipline under Washington medical licensing laws. This bill is passed out of the House and is now going to be making its way through the Senate. That's all we have for today. Thank you for watching, and check in next week for more Equity in Session.